Open that goddamn doors now! Move!
Visage 2020, an independent psychological horror video game. Welcome to another video, guys, and today we are back to talk about another spine-chilling independent horror game that is not talked about enough, Visage. This game is fairly new, but still, it doesn't get the attention it deserves in the gaming community. We stumbled upon this game recently, and now we'll just pass the nightmare to you guys. What is Visage? Sad Square Studios' Visage is an indie psychological horror video game. For years, survival horror games have attempted to recreate the horrors of PT, which is a demo interactive teaser for the hit game Silent Hills, in a full-length game, but few have gotten it quite right until this game was released in 2020, which is also considered to be a spiritual successor to PT. The game takes place in a large mansion that has witnessed decades of tragedy and depravity, including killings, suicides, and demonic possessions. The players are in charge of the game as Dwayne, a guy who has committed a heinous crime and is now tortured by phantom images of the other heinous events that have occurred in that house. Throughout the 4 chapters, Dwayne must follow clues and solve puzzles in order to escape the mansion while retaining his sanity and fighting for survival. Visage is a nightmare that horror game aficionados must not miss. Using a gloomy atmosphere, mounting apprehension, and just the right number of surprises, Visage is the haunted house from hell that scares the wits off every time. While there are some tiny issues in the game, such as becoming stuck in the location or falling through the game world, these annoyances can't take away from the fact that Visage handles horror quite effectively. You start the game in a house with no idea what's going on or any clear objectives. For those searching for direction, the hands-off approach to unraveling its numerous secrets may be off-putting. Yet walking the eerie hallways without instruction is highly effective as it builds up from flickering lights to shuffling spirit abnormalities. Even after several hours of play, you would still find excuses to explore well-lit areas of the home rather than going down to the basement, even though you had previously spent a lot of time there. Even a commonplace laundry room or TV corner may elicit fear, which is a measure of the game's potency. There's enough disquieting flavor in the ordinary items you discover in the house, from a tempting cat clock to an obsessive radio that loves to turn itself on. The question is there something in the dark with you? It will always keep you on the edge of the seat, and pretty soon things start to get weird. With time, walls start to crumble, impossible designs and structures appear, and new worlds begin to unfold. In a very disturbing and unsettling way, this game succeeds to stun us.
By yourself alone, and go to hell where you belong!
Story time. In 1985, Dwayne Anderson, the player, shoots and murders his wife and 2 children before killing himself in their suburban house. He wakes up in a gory, empty chamber soon. After leaving the chamber, he gets a message from his neighbor Rose, who hasn't seen him leave his house in 3 weeks. He tries but fails to open the front door. When strange things start happening around the house, he starts looking for a way out. Throughout the process, he navigates through 3 chapters of experiences centered on the individuals who formerly lived there. The opening chapter is about Lucy, a little girl who was befriended by a demon that spoke with her through the radio and television in 1965. Dolores and George, an odd couple in 1962 who recently had a kid, are the focus of the second chapter, where Dolores is apparently suffering from a variety of mental illnesses.
I knew it. I'll show you, you damned scoundrel, what bread you're worth.
Rakan Almutawa, 28, suffers from scopophobia, and believes that an unknown entity is spying on him and tries to quiet him in the third chapter. He was attacked by an unknown entity in 1970 and used a firearm to protect himself, following which he was sent to a mental institution, believing that the hospital is involved in the plot against him. Dwayne's prior family is explored in the last chapter, which includes his wife Claire, son John, and daughter Sarah. This chapter is structured into 7 subchapters, and players must locate. The VHS cassettes are labeled differently throughout the home in each subchapter. The names of the subchapters are Pride, Negligence, Indifference, Prison, Addiction, Greed, and Affliction, in that particular order. Sorry we can't say anything more than this because each chapter is breathtaking individually, as well as very crucial to the main plot, and saying anything more than the premise will only allow me to steal the experience of absorbing the narrative for the first time for you. The game also has multiple endings, finishing specific objectives, meeting certain parameters, and completing goals in each chapter, which will lead to these endings. By their very nature, horror games are full of mystery and intrigue, so it's great to see Visage pull the throttle and bring in some replayability, but the oppression and anxiety you'll experience while playing Visage, fumbling with your stuff, and dodging ghostly encounters may be enough for one playthrough. For the battle-hardened, crazy horror fans, however, the varied endings, both good and terrible, can teach you more. The playability. The goal of the game is to discover a way out of the house and figure out what's causing all of the strange happenings. The home is intended as a semi-open environment with big areas that may be explored at any time and many paths to each region. You will need to locate keys to open each door before you can completely explore the map. While exploring, you must contend with several dangers. To maintain the player's sanity, individuals must first avoid gloomy regions. If Dwayne stays in the dark for too long, he loses his sanity. Just like in games like Amnesia, The Dark Descent, as you tour the house, ghosts will manipulate it to cause paranormal happenings like slamming or opening doors, breaking light bulbs, and malfunctioning electrical gadgets are all common occurrences. Dwayne's sanity will deteriorate as a result of seeing these events. He must also escape being discovered by the house's many spirits and demons. Players must carefully travel through the home to avoid being captured by these ghosts and demons, as being caught by them results in instant death. Each paranormal experience grows more serious as Dwayne's sanity declines until a ghost or demon appears and attacks the player. To avoid these dangers, players can take the help of lighters, medicines, light bulbs, and candles. Pills may be used to regain sanity. Light bulbs can be used to replace damaged lights, and candles are a light source that ghosts cannot control. Other equipment that the player may locate and utilize include a camera and a sledgehammer. Dwayne's inventory is restricted, as he can only store 5 of these objects at a time, while holding 2 more in his hands. As a result, the player must thoroughly investigate the residence in order to discover the truth. Sad Square Studio, the game's creators, wanted the game to focus on the eerie in order to elicit a sense of dread and anxiety. If you are a horror buff, then while exploring the level designs, you'll notice the game is also inspired from movies like Insidious, The Conjuring, Sinister, Ju-On, Ring, Cairo, Phantasmagoria, etc. Of course, mainly the game is inspired from PT. If there is one negative in the game, then that is its inventory system. The inventory management mechanism in Visage is best described as clunky. Sad Square Studio chose an inventory system that required many button presses, item shifting, and clumsy control settings in order to utilize the desired item for whatever reason. For example, if you pick up an object that you no longer wish to hold on to, you must press one button to select the appropriate hand, and another button to release the item from that hand. This may not appear to be difficult, but it can be frustrating in reality. Time is required at the beginning of the game to get used to exchanging, utilizing, and discarding objects. Final thoughts. Visage is a brutal game that doesn't provide you any leniency or guidance in any way, except for dedicated, old-school horror lovers, and maybe those who are masochistic. This design decision will not appeal to everyone. Visage urges you to do your own research and come to your own conclusions. This punishing aspect of gameplay frequently detracts from the overall experience. Many times you'll find yourself exploring the numerous rooms and passageways, unsure of where to go next. If you're planning to head into Visage, be patient with yourself and take your time exploring every corner and crevice. Whereas many horror games use planned jump scares, Visage takes a different approach. Because of the game's more open-ended nature, you might come across a paranormal incident at any time. This not only boosts the game's potential fright value, but also keeps successive playthroughs new. Yes, it also means getting ready to be scared at any time. Popularly, Visage has received positive reviews from reviewers like Metacritic. The ambiance of the game is a flawless implementation of the psychological horror genre, giving spectators a persistent and steady state of uneasiness, with paranormal occurrences emerging at the height of that anxiety, rather than abusing the jump scare mechanism as many horror works do. However, since it's an indie game, so the controls and dynamics are definitely not flawless. We should also mention the restricted inventory, which means you won't be able to store as many survival goods as you need. The game also requires 2 things to be held in each hand, which is problematic because the game's intricacy makes it arduous and hard to play. However, it should be noted that the game utilizes a unique, patience-focused form of horror gaming. Visage stays true to its genre and is full of scares and anxieties. However, it is also an indie project, so you might face a few minor bugs and glitches, which might make you rage or quit at times. Considering everything, it is still the best Silent Hill emulator of the last 10 years. That's it for today, guys. Make sure to check out our other videos, and if you liked this one, then please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon so that you get notified about our next video. Till then, happy gaming.